Okay, love, check this out. And by checking this out, understand that you can create any reality up to a universe and look into what I present here as a know-how. You have the power to create anything that you can imagine. Even a lot of things that you can't even imagine right now. Now, the key here is to know thyself, and you cannot do that with your intellect. So, when I say you have the power to create anything that you want, up to a whole universe, there's a little trick. If you're interpreting these words, lingo, intellectually, you may get an idea, a knowing, a registered idea that is now registered by your memory complex and registered by your mind. I can do anything that I want. But see, there's a slight attunement. You that can do this is far beyond any thoughts. It's far beyond even, how to say, you that can do this is far beyond any knowing. You that can do this is not your knowing, is not your body, is not your effort, is not perhaps your first person experiencer or player, nor your avatar. You that can do this. It's funny how I speak Russian English. I love it. I'm just gonna do it. It's not even Russian, it's like Spanglish, I don't know. You that can do this. You that can do this is as tiny as this little, where's the camera? And there's a little point here, yes. And also this little point, this tiny you, when you go inside of this point, you're infinitely vast and you have no dimension. You have no depth, you have no width, you have no knowing of yourself. Well, how can you then create a universe? Well, voila, you did it already. I should make some tea. I should have made some tea before making this video. Okay, so I'm gonna make it short because no tea, and then I'm gonna make more videos with the tea. So, okay, let me simplify this and like just give you, spill out the beans and not create a whole big introduction where I will riddle your mind into dust. You have to walk through the gate of complete annihilation of any meaning in order to experience something that is not a thing. You cannot know it with your mind. But there's a way you can approach it with your mind, so this is why we're talking about it. What I'm talking about is experiencing yourself as a point of consciousness beyond time, space, and form. How? Well, it's very easy because this point of consciousness is projecting awareness into your head, body, and the world and the room around you as we're speaking. So you need to do 3 magical steps. First, find the center of your being. Imagine, see in your mind. And this is how the subtle realms, metaphysical subtle realms, and shape-shifting form realms act a little bit differently from a physical realm. They're all made from the light of imagination, and they all shape-shift according to what you are looking to perceive. So when you're working with the subconscious, even with the superconscious, things are fluid. And if you expect not to see anything, you will see nothing. If you expect to see the light, you will see the light. If you expect to see the apple, ping, there's an apple in the screen of your mind. You know how imagination works. So I'm asking you, feeling spatially the center of your being, or in other words, where is your awareness projected from? Where is the center of your awareness? You are then asking your subconscious or your intuition, as you want to call it, to give you the feeling, where do you feel the center of your being right now? And then imagine this center of your being has a nucleus or a seed. And from this seed, you are looking through your brain, you're looking through your mind, you're looking through your eyes, and you're looking at your reality. So there will be a seed. For some of you, it might be in the heart or higher heart, or in the ajna, or behind you or above you in the 8th or 9th chakra, or wherever you want to go. Wherever that seed is, you need to imagine that you're shrinking and taking a tiny elevator and going through the seed, and then inside the seed and going through the other side, where there is you exiting, your miniature version of you that just went through the dot, exited on another side, and is looking at stuff. Now you want to ask this reality, that is, when you pass through the seed, you want to ask this reality, where am I now and what do I see here? You want also to create an expectation that your miniature version of yourself that passed through the seed of your awareness is now able to report to you and able to commune with this space or no space that is beyond the seed. So it's a silly game, I know, but it's just a shortcut to enlightenment, and I made it in this way. It can be done in many ways because, hey, it's imagination. But this works. So when I do this with people, now you're going to have a DIY version. You have to assume that your miniature version of yourself is able to observe through your imagination, through your visualization, give the ping to your brain to render out first, what is the space on the other side of the seed saying, and there will be an echo in your brain, there will be a resonance, there will be intuitive knowing and interpretation of what you're seeing beyond the seed. And then you will have to ask, am I now beyond space and time? And see if the answer is yes or no. Presuming the answer is yes, with 90% of my clients the answer is always yes, you are then outside of space and time. Then you may continue this, inquiry, asking the beyond space and time to give your tiny version some type of answers. And I will give you some reference. First of all, reminder, you need to understand that you are able to channel this in truth, to your brain, and that your intellect will get intuitively the rendering of an answer. So you may start with yes and no questions if you're not that intuitive. If you're already intuitive, it's gonna be fun. right away. It's gonna be fun. So here is some, I'm gonna just report on real things, okay? I'm having a guy, he's reported to me that he's gonna die from X diagnosed disease that was diagnosed by doctors who told him a few more years to live, and then, okay, so we're going outside the seed, through the seed, outside of space and time. Now I'm asking, I'm asking him because I'm guiding, I'm asking, when you are here, do you have a shape and form? Except your imagined body, if you zip that body into nothingness, do you have shape or form? He says no. I say, what you are then? What are you then? He says in his own words, I'm God. I'm like, that works. I say, as God, do you have immediate power to transform your state of being from having this disease that you're going to die from to not having this disease and living happily ever after, whatever? He says yes. I say, can this be effortless? He says yes. I say, okay, can we apply this transformation to the current state of reality? He says yes. I say, can we check that this is now the new state of reality where you don't have and you don't ever have to interpret that you ever had the disease, and you can just assume from now on, knowing consciously and subconsciously, and your whole body knows that you are well, and you continue walking about this planet that you just can live a normal, whatever life expectancy or whatever you choose, because apparently you are God. He says yes. I say, that was quick because we only did it in 3 minutes, and now you're healed. And then come back from that point, from outside space and time, back into your body. He comes back into his body. He say, thank you. I say, you're welcome. So that was an experience of instant healing of some terminal disease that didn't even took any effort from anyone to like do some healing or whatever. You can call it on a quantum level. That was some energetic change in his constitution and some energetic change in his recorded belief set. So from that point, he quantum shifted into a healed reality, and that is that. Now another type of another type of inquiry. Let's say you are outside the seed. You're asking, now that I went through the nucleus, through the seed of the center of my being, and exited on the other side of that seed, am I outside of space and time? If the answer is yes, well, let's say if the answer might be no, then I would say, can you jump from wherever you are to outside space and time? And imagine jumping and finding yourself outside space and time, and then asking this space or whatever place outside space and time, am I now outside space and time? So it's just suggesting to the awareness, the observer, to change the perspective once again until it finds itself outside of space and time. And following this suggestion, 100% of the time I had every client get into that perspective. Now, how people describe what they are outside space and time is not every time with the word God. So I would usually start by kind of like narrowing down, so it helps the brain interpret So we say, do you have shape or a form? When you're outside space and time, there's no dimension there. Is that true or false? They will say there's no dimension there. If I say, if there's no dimension, do you have shape or form? They will say, I have no shape or form. Then I ask, who are you? What are you? They might reply, I am infinity or nothing or consciousness. Something along the lines. So I'll say, okay. Then here is where you can go with this. You as this consciousness are beyond space and time. Can you assume any perspective inside of the creation of space, time, and form and look at everything and tell us anything about anything? In other words, are you omniscient or all present, or can you become all present from outside of space and time and then look into wherever you want to look into? And this is basically how your third eye works. It's like a quantum antenna. You can shift the camera, the perspective, into any reality, and you can first shift it outside of reality completely, where you have the substratum of reality, or just the awakened being but having no experience of dimension, shape, or form, and asking from that point, can you go into shape or form anywhere, in the past, in the future, in the higher dimension, in the lower dimension, in the cells, in the tissues, in the bones, in the whatever, wherever, somebody else's head. And first you will ask, is it possible to do this hypothetically from this perspective? Then you will ask if it's possible to do this theoretically. Then you will ask if it's possible to do this practically. Mind you, interpretation of the answer is very relative to the words and the asking, and even the belief of the one that is asking or reporting the answer. This is something about quantum reality, and this is something about what you expect to get as an answer. So if you do not believe that something is possible, then you might get confirmation that such a thing is not possible, but if you expect that it would be possible, you might get the answer that it might be possible. So that's the difference. Now, if you and me are sitting together, if I know that something is possible because I experientially know that something is possible, I might guide you to see that it is possible, even though you're assuming it not to be possible, and therefore retrieving the answer that is not possible. But based on my nudge, on my suggestion, a permission slip, you start to observe and intuit the possibility and then retrieve a different type of answer. So what I would have to say about this inquiry is be open-minded. Assume anything is possible. So conduct your inquiry in an intelligent way, looking for the how something would be possible in the most effortless way. I'm going to say this again. How something is possible in the most effortless way, or the shortest way, the most elegant way, the most poetic, whatever you want to call it. So if you're looking how something is not possible, you might retrieve how that is not possible. If you're looking for how something is possible in the most effortless way, then you're going to get how something is possible in the most effortless way. And you see, to yourself outside of space and time, anything is possible. To your first person immersion, you have limitations. Previous reality interpretation from which you can assume things. Ask yourself beyond space and time, is it possible to assume anything? Is it possible to manifest anything that you assume to be true? You might find out that is also possible. conduct your inquiry in an intelligent way, and you may find that you can realize any inspiration, any desire, any possibility from outside of space and time in the most effortless way. I will say no more. Have fun.